Peita, you're on!
She's had a few drinks. Watch out.
Peita's in the house.
Such a one-sided fucking podcast. It's just all about you, isn't it?
Oh,
no,
yeah,
you're
you
fucking
go
boring.
first. You go first, because that's what you fucking wanted anyway.
Oh, fuck, I hate how you do that.
Oh, do you?
Welcome to Not the Friends You Put on Speaker, the podcast that's 70% chaos, 20% trauma bonding, and 10% surprisingly good advice. We're your hosts, Bel and Peita, serving messy stories, loud opinions, and the type of honesty that should probably come with a legal disclaimer. Right, let's fucking get into it. Belinda, welcome to episode 8, everybody, listeners out there. Episode 8 we are on today. Thank you for listening. Today we're going to be talking about being trainer and assessors in the mining industry. How do you feel about that, Bel? Yeah, I feel good. I feel like we've got a wealth of knowledge. Oh, I reckon we do. So both Belinda and I are trainer and assessors in the mining industry, have been for quite a while. So we're going to cover a few topics today. What would you like to start off with, Bel? Let's start off with some stories. What is the most loosest story that you have when you were training? Let's just jump right in. Well, you know me, like I'm pretty professional, so I don't really have like loose stories. It's got nothing to do with being professional. You could just have a fucking trainee that's just off the Richter, like my story I'm about to tell, and it's got nothing to do with you. No, but so I like to look. Well, I'm a control freak, so so am I. Control them. Oh, I fucking controlled it, all right? Don't worry. Well, let's jump into your story first. I like the sound of it. All right. So I was a trainer and assessor at a mine site, and there was this one trainee, and she was a little bit left of centre, let's just say, and she was forthcoming with that information that she learns differently, she receives information differently, she's just different. She's just built different to everyone else, which is cool. No dramas. That's good that she brought that up. And that way it gives, the trainer and assessor something to work off. If they've identified that, it helps them rather than them having to identify it themselves, as you would know. Yeah. So this trainee did what she had to do with me, and then she went off into the big wide world of the open pit with her trainer. So on this particular mine site, they like to buddy up trainees with one trainer. That way they're not getting different information. So everyone does everything differently. It's still the same roundabout way of doing things, but the way that you would train someone is the way that I would be different to the way that I would train someone, and the way that I would instruct someone and communicate is different to the way that you do it. Everyone's different to achieve that common goal. So this particular trainee went through, I think it was maybe 7 or 6 trainers in a couple of months. So that is a lot. So it came to a point where I was called upon to try and see what I could do. So I jumped up in the truck with her and obviously assessed her, and it was just like she didn't give a fuck. I don't know whether that was a coping mechanism or a defense mechanism because she just wasn't getting it. But you would ask her if she was backing under a loader, how did you think that you went? Oh, yeah, all right, I guess. Well, what do you think that you could improve on? Oh, I don't know. I don't care. Things like that. And it's just like, all right, then. So there was that, like I said, whether that was a defense mechanism or not, but that doesn't make you want to try hard for this person, right? If they're coming across like they don't give a fuck, then you are more than likely not going to give a fuck either. Exactly. About them. So anyway, cut to the chase. We went to a digger, and there was this big long ramp right down into the pit. And we're in a electric truck. So anyone that's driven electric trucks know that they're a little bit skittish, especially after a water cart or in the wet. You don't have a lot of control. You just hold on for the ride. So we went under the digger, took about a couple of stabs to get under the digger. Again, how did you think you went? What do you think you could do? Oh, I don't know. I don't give a fuck, I guess. He loaded me, so what? I must be all right. And I'm like, all right then, fucking whatever. And anyway, we went to another digger and it was topside loading. So got a load, couple of stabs, digger driver blowing his horn, getting pissed off, as you would expect. And then we're coming up this ramp, big long ramp, tipped off. And I look over, so she was tipping off and I could feel her just go like back. Yep, all right, she's going to stop. She felt the windrow, you know?
Yeah.
And then she just kept revving it and revving it and revving it. And then I looked over to the offside and pos 5 and 6 are on top of the fucking windrow. And I'm like, stop, like this at her. And she's like, what? And I'm like, can you not fucking see your offside mirror? We're almost going over this tip head. Like, what do you mean?
God.
Like, and I've just looked at the dozer operators. He's looked at me and I said, go forward, tip it off. Let's go. And I'm just like, oh, fuck me. So anyway, we get to the digger again, couple of stabs at the digger and, oh, I don't fucking know, rah. So tensions are getting pretty high at this stage. It's just like, you're not listening to what I'm saying. You're not taking anything on board. You know, your attitude stinks and you almost just try to kill me on a dump. So I'm like, after this. So anyway, we go up to another dump, the higher dump. So we got this big long ramp. Tip off, that's all well and good. And then coming down the ramp, following a water cart. So this is a skinny ramp, no center buns, no nothing, sheer face off into the cut on the other side. And then you've got like the landing at the bottom and then another ramp, right? Which is an intersection where it flattens off, obviously. So we're coming down and she's going faster than what she should be. And I'm thinking, oh, fuck. So anyway, my stomach's in my fucking throat at this moment.
Girl.
And I'm looking and I'm like, righto, survival kicked in. So anyway, we're coming down,
sister.
So we're coming down this ramp and I know she's going faster than what she should be. And I can still see the water cart. It's partway down this ramp. So I'm thinking, fuck, here we go. My stomach's in my fucking throat. And I just looked at her and I said, you steer. And I grabbed the little dial, you know, the tortoise and rabbit. Grabbed that dial.
RSC.
The RSC and switched it. And meanwhile, I'm like, doof, 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 like this. Got down to the bottom and it was a 3-way. And I just looked at the truck and I'm like, yeah, copy truck, whatever. Can you just go? And she's like, you've got the right of way. I'm like, can you just go? Because I was just like, ugh. You know what I mean? And she's just sitting there, like probably feeling the same. I'm just like, can you just go? So anyway, they went and we went to the digger, had about 10 shots at the digger again. And I'm just like, oh, and he's just getting pissed off. Meanwhile, I'm just trying not to vomit after that. And I just looked at her. I'm like, did that scare you? And she goes, no, why? And I said, if that didn't scare the fucking shit out of you, there's something wrong with you. Yep. And then she just looked at me and she burst into tears. And at that stage, the digger bipped us out and we had to drive. And I'm thinking, fucking hell. So here she is, hysterics. We've almost just fucking died 2 times in 10 minutes. And we've got to go back to the fucking dump up that ramp. Right? So I'm thinking, fuck.
Wow.
So anyway, I've called the OCEs, which were well aware of the situation with her. And I said, I'm jumping in the passenger seat because I was passed out and everything. I'm jumping in the passenger seat on the dump. Can you give me permission to pull up on the dump to swap out? And they're like, yeah, is everything all right? And I'm like, I'll catch up with you in a second. Like, so I jumped in, tipped it off and fucked off back to the crib arc. That was enough for me. And then anyway, I think she lasted another month and then she ended up quitting. But within that 3-month time frame, she had gone through 8 trainers, probably more after me. I'm not too sure what they ended up doing with her. Never showed up for a night shift. She was always sick on night shift and things like that. So just totally the wrong person for the job. Yeah. And then her attitude stunk when trying to learn.
Oh, definitely. Like, how's the comments back to you. Like the no care factor.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know whether it was a defense mechanism or something like a coping mechanism. I don't know, but a little bit of advice, just take on board what the trainer's saying. Listen to what they're saying. If you don't understand, tell them you don't understand.
Yeah.
Us as
Yep.
trainers have many of skills and avenues that we can go down to explain and to show you and all of that. It's not just a one way, take it or leave it. Just be
Yeah.
honest that you're not getting it. So that was
Yeah.
by far my worst experience.
Wow.
How about you? What do you got?
Yeah. So I've had like a few experiences, but like nothing as bad as that. But maybe I'm like get them to drive like a nana because maybe
Because you
I
are
do.
a nana.
But definitely like there is moments where your little sphincter is going
50
like
cent,
that.
5 cent.
Ooh.
Have you heard that analogy?
Nah, what's that?
You haven't heard of 50 cent, 5 cent?
Nah.
Where
Oh, because it goes.
where your arsehole goes from the size of a 50 cent to a 5 cent?
Yeah, I got it
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that and thank you. And definitely as trainers we experience that a lot, hey. That's yeah. I can't recall anyone scaring the absolute shit out of me, but definitely like you are sitting in that passenger seat and you are going like, do this, do that, do this, you know. Yeah, it's a big commitment to be a trainer. So, Bel, in that at the end of that story, you touched on how if you're as a trainee, you're not getting it, because us as trainers have different things that we can do. Give us some examples of as trainers, like what we would do if we cannot train that person that we have been allocated. What would we do?
So if you've like exhausted all avenues, so there's different ways that people absorb information, the way that they learn, all of those sort of things. So if you've exhausted all of that, then they're just not for you. You would utilize another trainer in that situation to try and see what they can do with them. Like I said, everyone's different, everyone trains different, everyone communicates different, and there's different ways of training and different avenues you can go down. But if you've exhausted all of them, it must be just something with you both that you aren't gelling. It's not as if there's something wrong with that trainee or there's something wrong with that trainer. You just aren't gelling. And I think that's the most important thing, is to line up your trainers with trainees that they will gel with, because it makes a big difference.
Yep. Totally agree. And sometimes we don't get that right.
No.
Correct? Like, yeah. So that's why trainers have to work together. So they need to even maybe like swap their trainees for a shift. Like, yeah, as trainers, we probably need to have a little bit of a buddy system, and work together with the trainees to get better outcomes. And you also get like a different perspective from that other trainer when your trainee gets up. Say if my trainee got up with you, Bel, and you would say to me, oh, you know, that person's doing this or that person's doing that. And I'd be like, oh, shit, I didn't notice that. And, you know, just little bits of differences that we do. So, yeah, that's a really good thing to do. I love that.
Yeah.
So how long have you been training in the industry, Bel?
Probably 15 years. What about yourself?
Yep, same. So I'm 16. So I worked in the industry for 12 months before I became a trainer.
Same.
Did ya?
Yeah.
Good job. Look at us go. 20s.
This might be why we get on.
But
there is some similarities.
There is slight little bit. I was actually a trainer at my previous job before I got into mining. So when I was in finance and that. I was training people then. So it was pretty funny because you know how people are quick to judge. I came into the industry, I've been there 12 months and like, oh, she's a trainer. Oh, how can you train people after only being here 12 months? You know jack shit. And I'm thinking, yeah, I might know jack shit about the industry, but I know a little bit about training. So it's very interesting how people are quick to judge. But yeah, I just love being a trainer.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. You get a lot out
What?
of it. It's a lot of like job satisfaction. It's a lot of
Yeah.
connection. It's a challenge sometimes. Most of the time it's a challenge.
Yeah.
You know, it's everything bundled up to in a little neat trainee package.
Oh, it is. It is.
But no, that's what I like about it. Every person, every situation, every day is different. And you got to constantly be thinking on your toes and adapting. And yeah, it's not boring like just operating in a cab by yourself. But then there are
Yeah.
times that you just want to be in a cab by yourself after training, you know?
Yeah. How hard is it to spend constant shifts of 12 and a half hours with a trainee? So, you know, for like a month, you know, longer if you have to, whatever it is that it takes for the trainee to be passed out on their own. I don't know whether the listeners would understand how difficult it is for us as trainers to sit in that dicky seat. So, for those that don't know, the dicky seat is the passenger seat of a haul truck. It's the most uncomfortable seat that you've ever sat in your life. Some of them, you know, aren't as comfortable as the operator seats. So it's really hard. And to sit there for 12 hours, especially when you get your trainee up to a stage where you're kind of confident with them, right? And then, you know, you feel like okay with them. So to remain, you know, vibrant and engaged and have lots of conversation is really hard for 12 hours after 12 hours after 12 hours, hey?
Yeah, it depends on the person. Like I've had some pretty cool people that I've become
Yep.
like good mates that I still hang out with today. Just
Yep.
because we were stuck together for so long. Like you get to know someone really quickly
Yep.
and you either gel or you don't. You either vibe or you don't.
Yep.
So yeah, you've hit gold if you found someone that you really vibe with because it's not awkward sitting there and it's not a task. You're just like two mates just fucking hanging out, turning the tunes up, off you go and just helping them on the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's actually
Yeah.
quite cruisy when you get a cool trainee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my coolest trainees is like now a very experienced trainer and operator. And when people in the industry mention his name, I always say, "Oh, he's my trainee." And like he's like up there,
Yeah, right.
probably, you know, and it sounds funny, but when someone is your trainee, they're your trainee for life. Like it doesn't matter what they do, whether they were to go on and become superintendent or whatever. But I believe that any of my trainees, they will always be my trainee kind of
Yeah.
thing. And
You spend a
yeah,
lot of time with them and put in a lot of resources into them.
absolutely. And like you said, it's super gold when you get that one that you just gel with and you're just rocking out on night shift. Yeah. And having a ball and you learn a lot about each other.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
No, it's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's so good.
yeah, it's a good component of it.
One thing that I want to let the listeners know, which I think is important for people to know outside of the mining industry, is that trainers don't actually get paid any extra. They do it for the love.
They do though. There's some sites that pay
Or
extra.
some sites they do.
Yeah.
Yes. The majority don't, right?
Yes and no. I think I've been paid for the majority. Yeah.
You motherfucker.
Not that it's a lot. Like
No.
it might be like $1 an hour. You might get a good one where, you know, you get an extra $300 for that block if you're training constantly, you know. It's all different. So just check your EA. It will have it in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've never been paid any extra, purely for the love.
Just because you're not worth it, mate.
Whatevs. Sure.
Whatevs. Yeah. But there's a lot of responsibility that people don't understand. Like, you are legally held accountable if something happens to that trainee. They go back through all of those records. That's what people don't understand, and that's why some people are like, oh, why are you so uptight? Like, what's the difference? Who cares if you've signed off? Who cares if they're not competent? All of that sort of stuff. You should care because you were legally obliged. Like, what's the word am I trying to look for here? Like, you're legally accountable and it's
Yeah.
enforceable by law if you kill someone or you get killed.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like in coal mines in New South Wales, we operate under certain legislation, and we need to act and operate appropriately to that. So, an example that I can give is, and this should encourage trainers and trainees to always ensure that their paperwork is correct, up to date. Everyone's signing every spot that needs to be signed. It's the correct day, filling out every box.
Information is a lot. Like, put in all the information in there as well.
That's right. That's right. Because when an incident happens, the first thing that the regulator does, and for those listeners that don't know, when there is an incident in a mine, the regulator will come in and do a full investigation on the incident, what happened, if it's really bad. So the first thing that the regulator asks for is the training documents of the operators that were involved. So everyone needs to understand that because that happens, we need to ensure that those documents are filled out correctly. So there's been like quite a few incidents, as we know. Probably most recent is the Cobar underground incident. But I do know, and this is a specific case where a trainee was killed in the Hunter Valley, a trainee haul truck operator, and the first thing that happened, again, when that does happen, is paperwork's called for, and anyone who is documented on those training documents is called. Okay? So, I've spoken to people in relation to this incident, and when you get a phone call from the regulator about what you did with that trainee or what happened here or why did this happen, it's very confronting. So people need to understand how important it is for everything to be done correctly, because it really does happen. So if you're a trainer in the industry, if you want to be a trainer in the industry, I cannot stress enough that just make sure that you do your paperwork right.
Yeah, and you know all the procedures and policies inside and out, so you are maintaining your compliance to that company and the compliance within your role. So
Absolutely.
there are some supervisors that do ask you to do dodgy shit, to sign this or to do that or to get around some situation in order for production. That happens. Stick to your guns. Be like, no, I'm not having that. That's not right. That's not what's written here. That's not compliant. Stick to your guns, because at the end of the day, you are liable.
Yep. And yeah, like the supervisor saying, oh, why aren't they passed out yet? Oh, what's going on here? What's going on there? Calm down, brother. We're getting through it.
It's competency based.
That's exactly right. And everybody learns different, and people need to respect that. Some people are going to take this amount of time. Some people are going to take that amount of time. And we just need to respect that.
So what's competency based, Peter, for the listeners?
So competency based is when a person is deemed competent so that they can perform the task safely, productively, and there's no time frame based around that. So competency is no time frame based, or not time frame based. But some people don't understand that. They
Well,
need a little less.
Yeah, or they could be time frames like X amount, but if that person isn't ticking those boxes and performing that task, they are then not competent and they are
Yep.
then not passed out. Just because you've done your X amount of hours with the trainer doesn't guarantee that you are passed out and you're good to go on your own because you were not competent. You're not meeting that benchmark.
That's right. They need to show that they can perform those tasks.
Yep.
Yeah. Safely, everything like that. There's a lot to it. It's not easy being a trainer in the industry, I don't believe, and I believe that you need to be a special person.
Yeah, for sure. Like I've come across cross trainers and they shouldn't be trainers. Yeah, they've done
Yep.
their half a certificate. So in the mining industry, you can just do a couple of units. You don't actually have to have the full Cert 4 to be a trainer in the mines. You just have to go and sit half a day or something like that, a couple of units. And then you've got your mining training and assessing. But then you can also go and do your full certificate, which is what Peter and I have, which enables you to train anywhere and everywhere. You can train with an RTO company and all of that. So there's different avenues that you can go down to be fully qualified, or you can just be partly qualified just to train within a mining environment as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you think makes a good trainer?
Someone that wants to help you. So anyone, like if you're a good trainer, all you want to do is help. So you're a people person. You want to help people. You get job satisfaction out of watching people achieve. You've got an outgoing personality. You can read people well, a high level of emotional intelligence. And I guess like you just have a passion to do it. What do you reckon?
I reckon you need to be a good communicator. That's wholly and solely a bigger part of this. If you can't communicate effectively and have different avenues of communication, then you're going to fail as a trainer. If you just can't communicate to someone, like I remember hearing of a trainer that used to hit their trainees. So if they're doing something wrong, she would lean over and hit them, be like, "Why are you doing that? I told you no," and stuff like that.
What
So
the fuck?
yeah,
Fuck off.
yeah, just hitting people and stuff.
That's not cool, hey.
No. So, I think you need to have good communication skills. You need to have patience. You
Yep.
need to be able to think on your toes quickly. And you need to know what you're doing. So you need to have a bit of knowledge behind you of different things on different like excavators, loaders, pit workings, that. So you can sit in there and explain it to them. You're not just showing them how to drive a truck or a bit of gear. Fresh trainees, you're telling them about dump systems, you're telling them about ramps, you're telling them about wet weather, you're telling them about this, that, how to read a digger, all of these different things. If you don't understand that yourself, then how can you pass that knowledge on? You're as good as the
Yep.
trainer that you receive because you're as good as the information that they have.
Yep. So
Yep.
true.
Yeah.
So I remember, my brother started in the industry at a mine in the Hunter Valley. And I remember when he got in the truck with his trainer, the trainer said, "I don't want to fucking do this. I don't want to be fucking training." And my brother never lasted in the industry. And I believe it had something to do, like a little bit had something to do with the fact that his trainer was a fuckwit. So, like, that's unfair. Like,
Yeah, it is.
why?
It just sets you up to fail.
Absolutely. But there's trainers out there like that, right?
Don't do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Grow
That's
some balls.
exactly right. But I feel like sometimes in the industry, people that have been trainers and they were good trainers, and then shit happens in their lives and they don't want to be training, but their supervisors expect them to still train. But they might be at a stage where they're like, just can't do it anymore, or they need a break or whatever. So I just think like the supervisors should be having like good conversations with their trainers. They should recognize that the trainers are a special team and they should be always checking in on them, making sure that they still want to be doing training so that we don't end up with conversations like, I don't want to be fucking doing this, or the trainer falling asleep in that dicky seat because they don't give 10 flying fucks. Because in reality, that's what happens.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you haven't got an awesome trainer, then you're fucked, pretty much. You're going to have to learn on your own, which is really, really difficult.
Yep.
So I would just encourage any trainers out there that if you do go through some time in your life where you just can't mentally sit in a truck with someone for 12 hours, put your hand up, let someone know, ask for support. Don't let the trainee down because of something that is happening to you. And also the supervisors. Talk to your trainers, make sure they're still switched on, make sure that you've got the right people in those training roles. Because I believe that possibly my brother would have still been in the industry or stayed in the industry if he had a better trainer.
Yeah. That turns you right off straight off the bat. What an introduction to your new career.
You're like, what did I sign up for here?
Toxicity.
Yeah. How sad.
And then also another element I see a lot is the trainers miss out on opportunity. So they're so busy training these trainees and they get a carrot dangled in front of them. Be like, yeah, I'll give you a skill if you do this training, and they never get the skill. So then they get bitter and twisted and bent up. Fair enough. Because they've been dangling this fucking carrot. Yeah, I can put my fucking hand up too for that. They dangle this carrot, they go out of their way, they train everyone that's required to help out the company, to help out the supervisors, to help with production. You do a fucking good job, and then you're stuck back there in the fucking dicky seat with the next one, and then you just watch everyone around you progress while you're sitting in there in this dicky seat getting flogged. For what gain? So I see that a lot in the industry, that people don't want to train because it forfeits their career progression, which is a real issue and needs to be looked at.
Yes, I totally agree about that. I totally agree. So one of the things and this has been going on for 17 years, or at the mines that I've worked at, there's no actually a career progression path, directly. It's not documented anywhere. People need to see that. So, any of you mine managers out there, or people in HR, or people in senior leadership roles, if you want to do good by your team, you should create a great career progression model and feed it to your team, act on it, do what you say, and you would have top performers.
Yeah,
Maybe
the best
we should just run the mine, Bill. Maybe you and I should run the mine.
or be responsible for shit like that. I'll put my hand up for that. Hey.
Absolutely.
Anyone looking for some fucking gun trainers, slide into our DMs.
Here we are, over here.
Come get us, baby. But the best one that I ever seen was my first mine, Integra Coal. So like I touched on in previous episodes, they had a very strong union, and it was based on seniority. And that made it very, very fair, but very unfair if you were a newbie. But with overtime, everything like that, it went from the fucking person that's been there the longest, went down the pecking order right down to the trainee. So everyone got asked whether they wanted overtime, whether they wanted this, blah, 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 blah. And it trickled through the system down to the pecking order to make it fair, right? And it was the same with skills. So the person that was there was the longest, was the next in line. Once they got a skill, it just flowed on all the way down to the last one. So if you were only there for a couple of months, you didn't get a skill, that's your bad. You had to wait your time, and you knew exactly who was in front of you, who was next, and there was a system. There was also a system with what skills you got. So you went from a truck, then you got a water cart, and then you got a grader, and then you got a loader, and then you got a drill, and it flowed on. So they had a pecking order of what skills. So then they maintained, it might not have worked for their TNA, but there was a list there of what to expect. So you didn't have someone that was in the industry for a couple of years or whatever jumping up to an excavator where someone's been sitting there for 15 years and they've only got the excavator. So it was a very real and like true system that made it fair and clear for everyone. Whether you respected it or not, it was clear, concise, cut to the fucking T. Everyone knew where they stood. You know, if you wanted to change over to the like a different roster and stuff, there was an order to that. Everything was thought of. Everything was aligned. Everyone knew how it all worked. So that was the one and only pit that I've seen. Have you had experiences with trainers, if you've just gotten to site, that teach you like you are a new trainee?
Well, I haven't personally, because you know how sheltered I am and
Very.
only ever operated in one pit in all my life. But I definitely have heard some stories. Have you? And I've got some stories to share. But have you got some stories to share?
Yeah, I've had that, obviously, that you jump in the cab, new pit and everything, and you jump up with a trainer and they treat you like a fresh trainee instead of just kicking back, laxing, observing. They actually go and try and train you and you're just like, bro. So don't do that, please. You just offend people. I know you got to
Yeah.
do your job, but there's ways around doing it and not treating people like they're children.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're the types of stories that I've heard. I've had a few people share with me that they've gone to other pits and, you know, because you can't just go and get a new job. And for the listeners that don't know, that don't work in the industry, when you change pits, you have to go and get up with a trainer. They will sit in that dicky seat and they will pass you out to be competent. And I think that those trainers sometimes forget that they are getting up with experienced operators, especially ones that have been in the industry for years and years. Exactly like you just said, Bill. They're
And the
treating you like
trainers themselves.
and that's a bit of a worry, right? So
Yeah.
those trainers should be like questioning you, saying, "Hey, Belle, how long have you been in the industry? You know, how long
Yeah,
have you
or
been in the industry?"
just kick them back. All I do when I'm assessing someone who's experienced is making sure they meet all of those benchmarks and not treating them like they're an idiot.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's all you got to do. Don't
that's
offend.
it.
Don't
Yeah,
offend experienced people. Just do your
that's
job.
right.
You can still be compliant by not treating them like a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Show them the respect that they deserve. If they've been in the industry a long time, they actually deserve respect. Doesn't matter who
Yeah, I
they are.
remember I was getting passed out by this chick. And she's like, righto, show me around, walk around a truck, tell me what I'm looking for. And I'm like, do you want the basic or do you want an in-depth like you're an RTO trainer asking? Yeah, because I was an RTO trainer and you've got a set of things that you tick off, this, that, whatever. And she's like, yeah, just give me the in-depth one. I'm like, rightio. All right, so lights, this, that, blah, blah. Oh, no, just give me the basics. I'm like, well, that's what I just fucking asked you, bro. Do you want the in-depth of every little nook and cranny of the truck that you're looking for, inside and out, or do you just want me to give you a basis? You know, what is it?
Yeah, because
You
it's
know?
pretty easy to operate a haul truck. Like and I'm saying that from someone with a great deal of experience, but it is, right. So, and to learn those things, it's very basic. It's black and white stuff. You know, if you were trained at one pit in a certain way, you could still go and operate at another pit to an extent because not much changes, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I noticed like the different pits. So I had 3 different pits that I looked after and all the trainees within those pits. I noticed the difference in the training from each of those pits. So one pit was really, really great at their walk around, the nuts and bolts and every little thing to do with the truck because of their trainer. He was really anal.
Yep.
To another pit that they walked around, they couldn't even tell me fucking anything on the truck. You know what I mean? So out of the 3 pits, I knew what I was getting for those trainees when I stepped in there to assess them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so it comes down to your trainer.
absolutely. Bel, tell me about the best trainer that you've ever had that you know of
That I know of.
that's not you. Who's a great trainer?
I don't know. I haven't been trained in anything lately. I haven't been upskilled, so
You haven't had a trainer that you've gone, fuck, they're good at that?
no.
Good chat.
I mean, you were all right when you showed me how to do the sim and stuff. You were real thorough and all of that.
Correct answer, sister. Thank you.
You go all right. You go all right. You were very thorough. I felt all right after it, you know?
Good stuff.
But yeah, I haven't been trained anything. I haven't got a new skill like in years and years. So
Yeah.
to ask me that question, I actually haven't been trained in anything. Like, I mean, when I did my Zoom diploma in work health and safety, that 5-day intensive that I did a couple of months ago, he was really good. He
Was
had
he?
so much experience, so much knowledge. He had the experience like he was a regulator and this and that, and he had all of this wealth of knowledge and experience. You could just ask him something and he knew legislation inside and out. Like, he was awesome.
Yep.
But then he could sort of kick back. He was a quirky dude and have a fucking joke. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it wasn't all serious, but he knew his shit. So I think if you have a trainer that knows their shit and knows how to train properly, you have a good trainer. So
Yep.
yeah, he
Yep.
was probably the last one that I sort of looked at and went, yeah, you're all over this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good. I have to say, when I started in the industry, the people that were training, like my initial trainer, trainers like along the way, I experienced some really good ones. And I have to say that is why I have stuck to training in the industry. That's why I want to do what I do. And why I want to give back to the industry is because of the people that trained me. So
Yeah.
that's really important. So if you're a trainer, you can fully impact someone's life continually, or impact their career. So we need to be mindful of that as trainers.
Even management. Anyone in a managerial role, trainers are a managerial role. You're managing people.
Yeah.
And their progression and their careers. So anyone that has an influence on someone, especially when they're fresh, it makes a big impact on whether they stay or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. So good.
What else?
I'll share a little story, which is possibly inappropriate, but it's real. So,
Are you feeling okay?
yeah. I'm gonna walk down that inappropriate line.
Oh, buckle up.
I know I don't do it often, but just roll with me, guys. Don't judge me. So I just remember, like, I love to give trainees so much love, and I just want to cuddle them, and I'm like the mother hen, and I don't want them to let them out of the nest and all that kind of gear. I know it sounds weird, but that's how it works.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Yeah, weird. But I do remember saying to a trainee once, and this was a female, and she was saying, I don't think this is working, and she was just sort of carrying on a bit, oh, I'm not doing this, and it's not working out here. And I said, look, sister, I don't know whether you know, but in my car in the car park, I've got a bag of cement. Do you want me to go grab it for you? And next minute, she starts crying.
You big bully.
Oh my God. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm in so much trouble.
And what happened?
Well, so then she cried and we had a massive conversation. We cuddled. She explained that she was having like all these other issues that weren't really mining issues, but because of one thing that I said, it triggered her.
Straw that broke the camel's back.
Oh. So I'm very aware of what I say to trainees now.
Yeah, you got to feel them out. You got to feel them out with their personality and all of that, whether they can take a joke or not. You just got to test the ground a little bit and act accordingly. You don't treat everyone the same.
And always be professional, Belinda.
Always be professional, Peter. No bags of cement.
Oh, that was so awkward.
Oh, I've had trainees cry as well. One chick fucking lost her shit one day when I was assessing her and took it personally when I was just doing my job, asking her questions.
Oh.
And she took it personally as if I was attacking her, but I was just asking her questions about the truck. Yeah, she fucking full lost her shit. And I remember when you were talking about that, I'll give you another little ha-ha. So there was this trainee and I was in assessing her and I was done with her and I was getting her to drop me off at the lighting plant so I could get my light vehicle to go. And on the dump where she parked up, it was sort of like a mound of dirt, right? It sort of went up like this. And as you know, when you're parking up, you need to be fundamentally stable. So what is fundamentally stable, Peter?
Oh, when your vehicle is in neutral and you release all brakes and it's not going anywhere.
Yes.
No movement.
Correct. No movement with everything. No brakes or anything, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, she's just reversed up this fucking mound of dirt upright and then put on the brakes and everything. I'm like, looked at her, I'm like, are you fundamentally stable? And she looks at me and she goes, like this at me, like, duh, we're not moving, are we? I'm like, have you got a brake on? And she goes, yeah. So this was an electrical truck. So she takes a brake off but leaves a foot on the foot brake. She goes, see? I said, take your foot off the brake, mate. And we fucking rolled. I'm like, do you know what fundamentally stable means? And she's like, no. I'm like, fail. Fuck me.
Oh, God.
And that was like a final assessment too.
That's scary.
That's fucking scary.
That is scary.
Yep, just full backed up on this big mound of dirt. All the brakes on and looks at me like I'm the fucking idiot asking her if she's fundamentally stable. Because the vehicle wasn't moving with all the brakes on.
What a worry. And they're out there. They're out there.
Oh, bloody oath.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we'll wrap it up here with the funny ha-has.
I think we will. But before we wrap it up, Bel, where can people find us on our socials? What are our socials again? Because I forget.
Why? Because I do everything.
Yeah, because I'm old and I forget.
So we've got Facebook, we've got YouTube, we've got TikTok. So TikTok's the only one that's not the friends you put on speaker. TikTok is NTF Pod. And then you can find us with our podcasts on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. And with all of those, we'd appreciate if you gave us a like, a follow, gave us a 5-star rating. We love interacting with you guys, so always comment, give us some feedback. We'd love to hear your stories, slide into the DMs, keep it anonymous or not.
Rightio, thanks for listening, guys. Shout out to Julie M, Julie F, and Kevin. Thank you for all the feedback that you give us. Stay tuned for next time, guys.
See you in the next episode. Catch you, cuds.
Catch you, cats.
Catch you, cats. Bye.
Bye.
That's a wrap on today's shit show.
Before you run off,
Make sure you follow the podcast
jump on the socials and give some love.
and share this episode with the mate who should probably never be put on speaker.
We love you.
We appreciate you.
Catch you,
Catch you,
cats.
cunts.